I'd like to welcome y'all back out to the HizandHerz podcast, Ep.5. I'm your host, DJ D Nice, and this is my lovely co-host, Miss Taya Tay.
What up?
And we're here to bring you politics, family values, economics, and relationship values. You know what I'm saying? Once again, if you're in your car, your truck, your house, anywhere, come kick with us for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, we appreciate all the love. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, and everything's beautiful, people. And we love you, and we thank you for the support. And without further ado, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna go ahead and get into this thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a lovely weekend, but it wouldn't be right if I didn't do what I needed to do to please my señorita. How you doing, my queen?
Good, babe. Had an awesome weekend.
Oh yeah. That's good. How your week been going?
Pretty good. Like I said, weekend was awesome because we got to spend time with family and friends, so that's always a plus.
Yep, that's always good. Oh, by the way, thank you for asking me how I'm doing. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. I'm fine. I am fine. And but once again, people, I'm fine. By the way, thank you. You are in tune into the HizandHerz podcast, Ep.5, and you know we appreciate the love. You know what I'm saying? We thank you for listening and tuning in. And without further ado, you know how we like to do. We got to go ahead and get this thing going.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of like brain twisted right now because you know y'all had me out there all this weekend, but it's cool. But without further ado, you know what I'm saying? What we got first, lovely?
All right. So, Trump administration overturns clean water regulations. On Thursday, September 12th, President Donald Trump's administration announced the appeal of a water regulation from President Barack Obama's tenure that gave the Environment Protection Agency border control of waterways and set limits on pollutants. The 2015 regulation, called the Waters of the United States Rule, clarified the definition of waters of the United States under the Clean Water Act and allowed for greater government control of lakes, streams, and wetlands. The rule was designed to limit pollution in 60% of waterways, which included sources of drinking water for 1/3 of the United States. Now, farmers will no longer need a permit to use chemical pesticides and fertilizers that could flow into waterways, reports the New York Times.
Man, it's a lot of... Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to go first?
No, go ahead.
It's a lot of like... not necessarily, well, bills as well, they get passed that a lot of people don't know about, laws that get passed that a lot of people don't know about, or they just don't take the time to do their research or whatever. Mm-hmm. But as far as this, you know, it goes unscathed, and a lot of people wouldn't know about it. So, but just like recently, like the last 6 months here with the bottled water, like, I was like, man, this tastes like it came out the faucet or something. I'm like, yo, this don't even taste right. Because I remember growing up, we used to drink out of the water hose on the side of the house. Just go turn our face on the faucet and drink it. And when it never like that, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I drink spring water. Well, I drink all kind of water. If it's water, it's water. If it's going, you know what I'm saying? But I would prefer to drink spring water.
I don't care for spring water. It tastes like salt water to me. Even though I know that it's the right type of water to drink, I just prefer purified water or like the boiled water.
I mean, this is the stuff that like pesticides and stuff like that, they get in the water. That's why you see, like, no disrespect, like women or men, like their body be out of shapes and stuff. Also, it has something to do with the food you eat as well. But like you see like these weird shapes and like and like the majority of the city or the county, they all look the same and stuff like that. Well, you don't know what's going on in your water. You don't know what these people tell you you're going to buy at the store and things like that.
Right.
And you just drinking it and stuff like that. Because nowadays, you know, But since when you had to pay for water, water always been free. And one bottle of like the little water, that ain't even a whole cup compared to how it used to be back in the days or whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, we'll have to drink whole cup. All we had was water and Kool-Aid. But, you know, it flows into the waterways. So now you're only not talking about schools. Think about the schools, how many times you went to school and you had everybody drinking for the same water fountain, the same crap.
Yeah, I don't
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like, now the farmers just gonna go full throttle, you know, into lakes, streams, wetlands, everywhere. Sort of like pollution, you know what I'm saying, in the air. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I seen the research or whatever about pollution in the airwaves, you know, in certain areas like the chemtrails that they release allegedly, that in urban areas that cause, you know, people to want to argue, fight, commit crime and things like that. You know, just off the pollutants and things like that, because, you know what I'm saying? Just like when you go to museums or you in class and they have the magnifying glass. Now imagine if you had on the magnifying glasses and you seen the water come out and you will see what's in there. Imagine that. You know what I'm saying? You be like, wait a minute, I ain't drinking this. All this crap in here from the magnifying glass. So, you know, I just want to, you know, but, you know, the Trump administration been trying to roll everything back that Obama put in place.
Pretty much.
They all the same to me. You know, that's just my personal opinion. That's my opinion. Democrat, Republican, all that, you know what I'm saying? You know, if I was to vote, I'm a registered voter, but I don't know if I'm going to vote this year or not, but if I were to put my money with someone, I would go with an independent person because I know they're paying out their pocket. They're not controlled by anyone or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? They don't have a hidden agenda. But I'm babbling. But you can go ahead, baby.
I say, I mean, as far as like what you just said about voting, I always vote, and I am a registered voter. I am Democrat, but I think that moving forward, I'm going to start looking for towards, like you said, the independents, because they are not controlled by nobody, and they're not being bought out, and they're not being required to say certain type of statements in order to be continued funded. But as far as like with the Trump administration, I definitely do agree with what you said, that they are rolling back a lot of things that Obama put in place. Not saying like he was the best president ever, but just in general, a lot of the things that he did put in place was to assist and to help with the preventions of the things that are currently going on. And with Trump being in office, the first thing he's trying to do is say, okay, well, let's go ahead and just roll back this. Let's go ahead and roll back that. But also keep in mind, folks, that Flint still does not have clean water, nor are they having running water that they can actually use. They're still using bottled water.
And Flint, you talking about Flint, Michigan?
Flint, Michigan.
Well, we'll have to give Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith.
Awesome.
He did.
Super awesome.
Yeah, he made sure he put his money up and made sure they had water. And also Jaden Smith out there in Cali, he got the I forgot the name of the truck that he's driving for the homeless people. I think it's I Care for You, I Love You, something like that. You could probably look it up. But he feeds the homeless people every day, free meals and things like that. So Jaden Smith doing this thing, but
oh yeah, it's the free vegan food truck for the homeless.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he did.
Yeah.
And it's he also did the filtration known as the with the water filtration system known as the box water.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I did see those, but yeah, that's super awesome.
Now, just speaking
That's
for
a cool fact.
colored black people, and you know, like when they say, you know, the lakes and streams and stuff, we don't swim in no lakes. We don't swim in those streams. You know what I'm saying? Most people won't mind about the water and stuff like that, the drinking and things like that. But you know, now I ain't trying to get all technical and like I'm a doctor or anything. But if I'm not mistaken, water make up 90% of your body, something like that.
Yep.
So, hey, you know, you just follow the. You know, we're not saying that you got to become all, you know, Democrat, Republican, or follow the news, but you know, just the stuff that matters, you want to keep close attention to and follow it. Hey, it's called a smartphone for a reason. It got everything you need to know right here if you research it. You can leave Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff alone for right now, but you know, put your phone down, people. And use it for the right thing and stuff like that. But as far as that, they're gonna keep doing what they need to do to roll back stuff anyway. And
I agree.
but just watch what you put in your body. But moving on. L.A. County. Los Angeles County prosecutors say that they have charged Democrat donor and LGBTQ activist Ed Buck with running a drug house and other crimes after a man overdosed on methamphetamine at Buck's apartments last week. The man survived, but 2 other men have died from the overdoses at Buck's apartment in the past 2 years. Buck was arrested Tuesday night after months in which activists and relatives of the men who died have called for criminal charges related to the suspicious circumstances around deaths of 26-year-old Jamel Moore in 2017 and 55-year-old Timothy Michael Dean in January. Buck, who is 65, is now facing felony counts of battery, causing serious injury, administrating methamphetamine, and maintaining a drug house.
Right, because he was preying among black men. That's pretty much what he was
You heard
doing.
about that too? Like,
yeah, that's what he did. Every man that
his forte was black men?
Right, and so every man that he was sleeping with and he was doing things with, those were the ones that he were killing. They were black.
Yeah, he had a fetish.
It's sad.
Hey, this guy is a big donor for the Democratic Party. If I can fast forward and you know what I'm saying, and choose this outcome, I would say that, he'll probably get a slap on the wrist. He'll pay off a couple of people and things like that. But if, from my understanding, that he actually called the police and told them that to come get these dead people out of my house.
Yeah, he did.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because Moore, Letitia Nixon, the mother of Mr. Moore, stated that he had a well-documented history of isolating black men for predatory sex encounters, and people started crowding outside of his house, petitioning, saying justice for men because of the things that he was doing, and he had no type of remorse, no type of care, because a person with money feels like they can't be touched, and that's exactly who we're talking about here, which is Ed Buck. He did certain things and would say certain things, and he would prey on black gay men on purpose just to get them and lure them in, do things with them, and then after he did them, he purposely poisoned or he would purposely give them type of drugs to overdose and kill them.
Man, and he got that paper, so hey, I can understand those guys in those situations. Hey man, I give you 200,000. 200,000? Are you serious? But you just got to be my little sex friend. You know what I'm saying? You got to come to my house. You got to do what I say to do. It's not too far-fetched. You know what I'm saying? Especially not in 2019. It couldn't even, I'm really reaching. I'm way over-exaggerating when I'm saying 200,000. You can give a brother 5,000. You know what I'm saying? You say, I'm having sex anyway, but you got to be careful. You know what I'm saying? Because you think he giving you one thing, he shoot you with something, you paralyzed, you can't move. That's what a lot of predators and stuff like that, that's what they do to their victim. We used to watch a lot of movies like that where the guy, you know what I'm saying, prey on the women, and then he get them some type of drug. They paralyzed, but they can still see what's going on, know what's going on, but they just can't move.
I mean, they can't feel anything, but they know exactly what's going on. It's sad.
And running a drug house and other crimes. But they got him, though. They've been chasing him a minute. And, and he's 65. But,
It's truly sad.
They out there in them Hollywood Hills. They out in L.A., baby.
It's unfortunate.
Hey, we got to get these dudes off the streets, man. Well, they got them, every time stuff like this happen, I always imagine, just what if it was a black guy?
Right, doing this, and he would have been locked up a long time ago while they're waiting on doing the processing of an investigation if he was preying on white men doing these type of things. Because the things that he would do, like when they found, when paramedics found Moore, he was working as an escort. He was naked on a mattress in the living room with the male pornography movie playing on the TV. Also, police found inside of the apartment with sex toys, syringes, clear plastic bags that had different, that were suspected of methamphetamines, but they didn't know at the time exactly what was it. But there was 24 syringes with brown residue in them, 5 glass pipes with white residue, and burn marks, plastic straws with possible white residue, clear plastic bags with white powdery residue, and a clear plastic bag that had like a crystal-like substance. So pretty much it sounds like cocaine, crystal meth, heroin. I mean, a number of things, but he's giving these different type of drugs, mixing them, giving it to these guys back to back to back on purpose. And he was saying, oh, well, I didn't force them to do the drugs, but if you know that they're on drugs, they're addicted to drugs, and you already know this, and you're aware of this, and you're continuously feeding them, you are administering their overdose. You're the reason why they're overdosing, because you're continuously giving this to them after you have sex with them and do different things with them, and then they die. It's just, he's sick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they got him though. We're gonna follow that closely and see what happened with Mr. Ed Buck. And
Hopefully.
Side note, still Mr. Jeffrey Epstein, still no funeral, people. We ain't seen
no
him.
body, no funeral, no caskets, no nothing.
It's been well over a month.
Exactly.
Unless they had a private meeting, but
like I said, he's not dead.
shout out to Urban X TV, the Urban X Podcast TV with Black Dot and his son or whatever. But I heard them saying something about, Epstein, or was it Red Pill? With Phil Moreland, Red Pill and Blue Pill too on the internet. Y'all can look them up. But they were saying something about him, how he was like a not British intelligence spy, but he was some from somewhere. He's an spy. He was getting the money, and the guy that gave him that house in New York in Manhattan, he's an older guy. I forgot his name, but he's an LGBT activist as well, and he fronted the money for them. I don't want to get too philosophical and technical, but to wrap it all up, he ain't who he's not who we thought he was, like, because he just popped up. We don't know where he came from or anything. Like, who is Jeff? You know what I'm saying? So, it's deeper. If you peel the cloths back, it's deeper. But, that's another, we can't go deep into that. But, you just got to do your research and pay attention, and enlighten yourself. But,
absolutely.
So, good luck. I'm glad they got you, Ed Buck.
Yeah, so Mr. Buck. But, moving on. Albuquerque. New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, sorry if I'm messing up the name, wants to provide state residents with free tuition to public colleges, a plan that is, if passed by the state legislature, would add New Mexico to the growing list of Democratic-led states to offer free higher education. Lujan Grisham, a Democrat, announced the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship on Wednesday while speaking at the Education Summit at Central New Mexico Community College. The plan would provide free undergrad tuition at New Mexico colleges for in-state residents and aims to cover nearly 55,000 students a year. It would cover tuition and fees for recent high school graduates at four-year public colleges, as well as recent high school graduates and returning adult learners at two-year community colleges. The program is estimated to cost between $25 to $35 million. According to Lujan Grisham's office, it would combine with the New Mexico Lottery Scholarship and build on existing federal grants to cover students' tuition. So, let me go. I think this is super awesome, and I honestly wish it was in place when I was going to school while I was doing my master's, which I currently have a couple. But this is I think that education should be free for all. What's the purpose of us having a lottery, a state lottery, a USA lottery, and there is supposed to be educational funded? So where is this money going to if it's for education? It says education lottery, but you still have schools that are run down. You still have cities and counties who are begging for money that needs assistance teachers that are getting underpaid that are not even getting paid at all. And where is this money going to? So if it was going towards the education as it's supposed to, education should be free as it is with the public sector when it's with regular public school for elementary, middle, and high school. College should be free as well. Other countries already has this going on. That's why our student loan debts are so high in America, because once students graduate, they can't afford paying their student loans back. You have these federally funded grants, subsidized, unsubsidized, Pell Grants, federal loans, student loans, all these different loan companies and agencies that are loaning money just so that you can go to school to get your degree. Because if you were able to pay for it, you would have never took out a loan to begin with, nor would you be requesting any type of financial assistance to do so. School should be free, and I definitely agree. If all states was like this, our debt for student loans would be at a zero. The money that's being put into the lottery, it would actually cover everything that's needed for education as it states that it is. It says, oh, well, the educational lottery is only a percentage. Well, why would you note it? That's just like you're going and it says all beef patties and it's only a percentage really is beef and the rest is whatever. So why is it that they can't make this for not only, I applaud New Mexico for doing this, because again, this should be worldwide, just like it is in other countries. People leave America to go to other countries to get their education, to come back and be able to work, because then they are debt free. It should be the same way. That's why we are so much in debt, not only with the education, but in the medical field as well, because we don't have free medical for all as we should, just like Canada and other countries has this. Again, Canada. They have free education. They have free medical. And they're not in debt as much as we are. We're in the trillions. We are like we owe every Tom, Dick, and Joe, you must pretty much say.
Well, not me. I don't owe nobody nothing.
I'm talking about America, country itself. Owe so much to these other countries. If we were able to do things such as what's currently going on in Albuquerque and on forward, it would be so much better. It would be debt free, and these students wouldn't have to worry about, how am I going to pay this? How can I do that? And so many people are afraid that has the good mental, that has the knowledge, that are able and want to go to college but can't afford to go. That could have been our next president. That could have been our next doctor. That could have been our next lawyer. That could have been our next pediatrician. I mean, and the list goes on and on and on. But these people are not able to use their mind properly and do certain type of things, because they're going to think, okay, well, if I do this, do I want to go to school to get this degree and then be in debt for the rest of my life trying to pay this back? It's just ridiculous to me.
I got a question, right? So, if this is New Mexico, so, like, do the Americans, if they plan on attending college in New Mexico, do they have to learn how to speak Spanish before attending this? Because I'm pretty sure you understand what I'm saying?
No, I mean, it's New Mexico, so it's still a part of the U.S. It's a country. I mean, Lord Jesus, a state. So there's a lot of people that live there that speaks English. Just because it says New Mexico don't make it actual Mexico. It's just another state, just like Arizona, California. You don't have to speak a certain.
But see, I'm always skeptical of free. Like, they'll sign you up, you get signed up, you attending school, and then once they start telling you stuff, well, we're only going to pay for it if you complete this much, and we're only gonna pay for it if you have to stay the whole blah blah blah. We ain't gonna pay for it up to this term. You got to complete everything, and then it's paid for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they have to go to, like it currently says, it will cover tuition and fees for recent high school graduates at 4-year public colleges, as well as recent high school graduates and returning adult learners to a 2-year community college. So it's an opportunity scholarship.
So if I'm out of school, if I was an adult, I can go back and take my classes.
For 2 years at a community college. But it's also, again, it's a scholarship. So this is something that you're agreeing to. Okay, I'm gonna complete my 4 years here at this school, and I'm not gonna transfer. I'm gonna do this. I'm pretty sure there's some type of fine lines. You have to complete your schooling there at that school in order to continue on with that scholarship. Because I'm pretty sure the scholarship is not gonna be transferable anywhere. Because if that's the case, people will be flocking to New Mexico, dropping their kids off, having them graduate there just so that they can get free education. which
But,
again should be free anyway.
The cost is only between 25 and 35 million. Ain't that's a little on the low side?
No, I mean, I think that's pretty much, if you look at it for a 4-year degree.
So
right.
they laundering money through the lottery, basically.
Well, no, I mean, the lottery ain't doing anything it's supposed to do, because it
not
says about
one
30% of the lottery revenue goes to education. Even in the NC Education Lottery gave 100% of its revenue to schools, that will only cover about 19% of the state's total budget for K through 12 public schools. So that lottery, it shouldn't even be listed as educational lottery, because again, it says only 30%, but that only covers 19% of the state. So if that's 19% of the state, exactly.
Y'all break me off some of that money.
Outside of the winners, but I'm just saying only 19% of the state is covered by the actual education lottery. So 19% of the state, let's just say that's about what, 4, 5, 6 cities?
Well, I mean, that's set up too, the winners, because if you win and if you owe money or something like that, you can't get the money. You got to send somebody else to go get the money.
No, that's why. You'll get your money, but you'll have to pay off whatever debt is owed, and they'll give you the remaining balance.
Yeah, but who want to do that? If you just win it, it's supposed to be free for me, but now I got to pay you back something from the money.
Well, because it's a debt that you owe, so why wouldn't you? That's like you.
I don't owe it to the lottery.
No, but if you owe it and it's a federal.
I know that. I know that, but I'm just saying. But what's that got to do with one? What's one thing got to do with another?
They're trying to recoup
know what I'm saying?
Their winnings. That's just like if you have like a lien or a levy or anything such as that, like on something that you owe, and once you get into some money or you have something that's available, they're going to take it into.
I think it's good for the kids that actually want to go to school. You know, you got your kids that actually want to go to school, then you got the kids that's in between. But it's not only for the kids' life, for people that always wanted to get their education as well.
Right.
So let me go do this, let me go so I can have a better job, a better career,
absolutely,
et cetera, and things like that.
I wish it would come all around throughout the whole U.S. because again, other countries do this. That's why, like, for example, Japan, China, and stuff like that are number one in education because they have the ability to get the type of education that they need versus what we don't have here. People pretty much is like...
Well, then why everybody flocking to the United States then? If they so good everywhere, why everybody want to come over here? They want to come to our Disney World.
Land of the free, pretty much. But they want to come over here because they think it's more freedom. And there's not any type of rules. Like, an example...
Oh, like dictatorship.
Right. So, like, in other countries, like, there's like... family rules, like, oh, it's only one child per household type of deal because of overpopulation. A lot of people come to America for different things because, again, it's called land of the free, land of the opportunity, and that's what they do. But again, I just think that education should be free for all, and it should be free as far as these opportunity scholarships. And the educational lottery should uphold its requirements as it states. Outside of just 30%, it should be well more. And I understand if they say even if we gave 100% of its revenue to school, that would only cover 19%. Again, it should be something more that the statewide should be able to cover. Cut some of these costs as far as when it comes down to salaries that you're giving to the governments, the people that's working under them, like the governor, the mayor.
They got to send their kids to private schools and make sure they...
What do you mean, why? I mean, they're making $400,000 a year. And, I mean,
they don't care about that.
They shouldn't even be able to be allowed a
for God's sake,
like that.
We just talked about the college scandal, so you can only imagine that lady Huffman. She was a little fish. Imagine the big fish.
It's crazy.
But I agree with you though, baby. You know all about the school thing and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a school head and stuff like that, but I always apply it to my real life. I can't eat the words. The words can't fill my stomach up. I got to do what I got to do. What? Period. I'm talking about a degree. You know what I'm saying? Get your degree and you can succeed. Yeah, but what happened when that degree can't feed you? What you gonna have to resort back to? You know what I'm saying? And I can't. A degree can't fool me up. I got to go get the job first after I complete all that. It ain't like, you know what I'm saying, or graduating within the top 3% of my class to even get an internship. But
I mean,
moving on, we got to move on. So, but I totally agree with you. And I don't knock it what New Mexico do. It make it free for everybody. Hell, while you're at it, I think that, at least Americans, it should be like on your birth certificate or a law. Every person that's born in America should at least get one free car out of their lifetime. Here go your certificate. Go pick your car. Anyone you want. Anything. And we still want our reparations, people. You know what I'm talking about? I want my check. I'm going to be in line. I want my reparation. For all my people, I want it. But that's a story for another day. But,
yes.
Moving on.
Okay, I hope I'm saying this right. Valparaiso, Florida. A worker at the Florida daycare center is facing child neglect charges after 4 toddlers suffered broken legs on the same day. The Panama City News Herald reports that 25-year-old Christina Marie Curtis was arrested recently after the May 21st incident at Kids Discovery Learning Center in Valparaiso. I think I said that right. It wasn't immediately clear if she was a lawyer to represent her, but she was released on $4,000 bail last month. An arrest report says all 4 young boys were fined the morning of the incident. Later that day, they were having difficulty standing or walking, and medical personnel determined that they all had suffered leg fractures. Under terms of her release, Curtis cannot have unsupervised contact with any children and cannot be employed at child care facilities or schools. I think that is sick, and I think for her only having bail of $4,000 and there's
Sheesh.
4 kids, that's like $1,000 a child. That's not, it's not fair. Like, okay, you sat here and you broke, that's abuse. That's that's child neglect, that's abuse, that's an intent to inflict bodily harm, that's battery.
She only got to pay $400 to get out. Then she don't got to pay the whole $4,000.
Outside of a fracture, let's say that they had internal bleeding. Let's be real here. Anything, again, could have happened, and I'm pretty sure that these kids were screaming at the top of their lungs. A fracture, you can only imagine the pain that they're going through at that age, and she only got a $4,000 bail for this? No. She should have got way more for this. I feel anybody that has any type of anything that has to do with children, as far as abuse, molestation, neglect, murder, whatever the case, they shouldn't even have no formal type of bail, at all until the whole thing is investigated and cleared, whatever the case may be. It shouldn't be any kind of bail. This is sick.
To me, she got off lucky by getting out of jail. Let me reverse it. I came up with my aunts and stuff like that. If there's something like that would have happened to their kids, she wouldn't even be able to make it to jail. They would have drug out the daycare.
I would have probably hurt that lady. Like, I would have really went to jail.
They would have been drug her out. As soon as they got that first call from the hospital. Miss Barnett, we have Darian up here. He was suffering broken. She gonna check on him. She know they safe at the hospital. She going straight to the daycare lady. Or they going to find out where she stays and she getting drugged out of the house.
Oh, yeah, she going to be drugged. Drug ain't even the word that's going to happen to her, man.
And we ain't condoning violence and then like
Absolutely not. But when it comes down to your children, you are their own advocate. You are their protector. And you would do exactly what you need to do to make sure that your children are safe and protected. And if it comes down to mine, and I got my boys, and these were one of my boys that were out of these 4, oh, she wouldn't have made it to no hearing. She wouldn't have made it to no bond. She wouldn't even made it out that daycare door.
Like, how you break 4 kids?
4.
You line them all up and say, y'all get on over here. Let me break your legs.
Come on. And she's only facing child neglect charges?
This is I don't want to say white lady, but she look like a white lady, the Spanish lady, but this is a white lady.
And again, she's only facing child neglect charges. No, she's white. Again, she's only facing child neglect charges.
She look like the typical lady that'll be there watching your kids.
Legs. This is ridiculous.
She probably knew somebody that she connected some. Christina, how could you? Well, I can understand, given your recent family history, that it's kind of hard, and kids sometimes can get on your nerve. That's what they hit her with. I understand. You just don't worry. I'll call someone. I know a buddy.
No.
That's how it is. Is she good?
And if you look her up and you see her mugshot picture, she looks like she don't give it, like she has no remorse.
This in Panama City. They out there on that water.
And it's the difference if these children all had, if it was like separate incidents or whatever, But this is all in the same day. And I'm not saying, I'm not negating the fact how it happened, or it shouldn't matter what time or the date or whatever. But again, all in one day, and the only charges she's receiving is child neglect charges. It should be child abuse. It should be battery. It should be assault. It should be, the whole nine. I just don't understand.
Now, see, this when you got to pay attention to the buzzwords, and you got to pay attention to what's going. She cannot have unsupervised contact. That means that she can still be around some kids. She can still do whatever, but it's just got to be somebody there watching her.
It has to be supervised.
You know what I'm saying?
Why does she need to be around children?
And she can't be at a child care facility, but she could go somewhere else and kids can be around. She just can't be at a daycare or a learning center or a school.
Pretty much.
You see what I'm saying? But that's just why she awaiting to get seen by the judge. After that, whatever fine she pay or days she do, everything go away, and then it's right back to normal. So she really ain't.
And for child neglect charges, she's not even really going to even be facing any type of jail time. More than likely, she'll have some type of probation or something like that. And then she'll have to go to like a class and crap like that. So pretty much she's getting off easy while these 4 children are suffering. Hopefully that they could get their legs put. They'll have to probably be in braces, some type of leg braces, because they couldn't even walk. They couldn't even stand up. And some of these children may not even be able to walk. Again, because of her. So these are permanent. This could be a possible permanent disability that she caused them. This could be some type of, again, this is more than neglect. She should be charged with way more than this. This should be like the utmost. This is child abuse. That's like, and again, with broken legs, you got broken bones. It could have been anything inside like that, like torn. It could be any type of blood clots, anything that could end up coming, like with blood clots, if you get them in your legs, any part of your body, you could potentially die from this. So again, she should be charged with something way more than some just neglect.
Oh, you could die from blood clot? Man, I've been feeling something strange in my leg, man. Feeling like no, it ain't funny. You know what I'm saying? When black people hear stuff and then we've been feeling that same feeling that you explained, we swear we got it. You know what I'm saying? Man, I swear, man. Hey, look. But hey, look, here go my pet peeve. You know what I'm about to say. Now, what if this lady right here was a black lady? Yeah. 4,000. That would have been 40 stacks. It would have been 4,000. Probably wouldn't have gotten a bond. They probably would have held it. It would have made bigger news than this. See, this is the stuff that you got to go find. You're not gonna hear about this nationally and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the it's the crazy stuff.
It's sad.
You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, she probably ain't had no child care license. And like, this just got hired off the street.
Like it.
But
yeah.
Lock her up, throw away the key for them babies. You know what I'm saying? They don't know no better. But I wonder why, like, even through all the stories, you don't even hear none of the parents under there. You don't hear none of that. Where they at? They ain't speak out?
I'm pretty sure that they did. And
yeah, on the local news, right?
Right, and it just hasn't been noted like all the children's parents, because a lot of them, of course, because of the children's age, they're not going to be identified. So, yeah.
Nevertheless, hey, watch when you see your kids, people. If you can have family help, y'all see, it ain't used to be like that a long time ago. Everybody helped out everybody. We ain't had to go run and drop our kids off here, there. I ain't never seen my people do it like that. We helped each other out. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had to go depend on other people to watch and bring up our kids and trust them to feed our kids, and, stuff like that. No, I wasn't raised like that. We're going to take care of our own. You know what I'm saying? But
that's crazy.
Moving on. We got to keep moving, y'all. Got to keep moving. Moving on. We got to move on. Davidson, Michigan. A Michigan man has been charged with murder after investigators concluded he spiked his wife bowl of cereal with heroin. The medical examiner initially classified Christina Ann Thompson, that's another Christina, Harris, 2014 death as an accidental overdose, but investigators now believe Jason Harris poisoned her at their home in Davidson, about 60 miles north of Detroit. Prosecutor David Lena says that the 36-year-old victim was an incredible loving mother, Friends were shocked to hear about an overdose and said she never used drugs. Layton says Jason Harris' siblings told police that he had talked about getting rid of his wife. Co-workers told investigators that Harris had been looking for a hitman. Harris appeared in court on Tuesday and was denied bond.
Wow.
I mean,
but key words, like they said, his family told on him. Siblings told police that he had talked about getting rid of his wife. I mean, yeah.
He tried to take her on up out of there, didn't he?
Pretty much, but
he did. I'm so sorry.
Right. I mean, but the sad part about it is that she had 2 children. And the 2 children, and out of her 2 children, she has a 4-month-old daughter who's going to be raised without her mother.
Oh, man, that's sad.
And not know, I mean, she's going to, I'm pretty sure the family and stuff is going to tell her about her mom and things like that. But it's just, it's going to be super hard at 4 months, knowing that your father killed your mother and you lost that opportunity with your mom because of someone else selfish acts. It's sad. I think about the babies in this situation, the children, the overall family in this situation. And this is premeditated first murder, which was what he was charged with. It's crazy.
What had to be going through your mind? Say, okay, let me go and see what's going on in the morning. Forget it, man. I'm just about to go put some heroin in her cereal.
And
I'm about to kill her.
You had to really think hard about how you're going to plan this out.
Oh, they said we looking for a hitman.
Right. But, no matter how much, if the love-hate that we have, it's not going to get it to the point to where I'm
Don't be a coward. You. Do it yourself.
Pretty much, but I'm just saying I would never.
Somebody try to poison me?
Well, no, absolutely not. No,
I wouldn't die anyway.
Whatever.
I probably not out of 10. I'd have had poison before and lived and all kind of crap.
I'm pretty sure about somebody else. Anyway.
Wow.
But as far as when it comes down to it, any type of decisions or anything that I make, I always think about the pros, the cons, and the consequences, and then my children. And my children come first before anybody. If it got to the point to where I hated you that much to where I just got to get rid of you, I'm going to get rid of you. As far as get out of my house, go about your life, we're over.
Cause I ain't going to jail for killing you. That's the last thing I'm going to jail for.
I'll be like, out. It's not worth it. It's not worth your children. It's not worth your life. It's not worth any of that. And apparently, it was more going on inside of the home for him to get to that point to where he no longer wanted to be in a relationship with her, or he just felt, it could be a number of things, because the news is only going to tell you but so much, and then you're going to only know but from what people tell you, because not everybody tells you what goes on behind closed doors, because it's not everybody's business.
Now, I ain't trying to be funny now. Y'all bear with me. I ain't trying to be funny, but you know what I'm saying? He was, 36, so that was 2014, 36 now. So if they was around the same age, they were about 32, 31. What's she doing eating cereal in the morning, man?
Whatever.
Or bring you cereal.
Sometimes in the morning, too.
But, when they put the heroin in her cereal and then, that one, this is an overdose, so, in cereal.
That's sad.
You poison your lady.
And she had 2 baby girls, and one again just at 4 months, so they just had a baby. And it said her mom told police her daughter's relationship with her husband was a rocky one. Jason Harris has been corresponding via emails and photos with other women before and after his wife's death. He also bought plane tickets to Providence, Rhode Island, to visit another woman 9 days after his wife died. So he was doing other things. They uncovered 5,000.
Oh, he was messing with a shorty, and they probably plotted to get rid of her. So
he had a total of 5,881 texts to that woman on his phone. They found. So yeah.
Man, you got tricked by another woman to get rid of your lady. How that happen?
That's sad.
Man, that's real sad. Hey, the relationship with if you have to get to that point, buck.
But what he said, he told the police, he said that he didn't want to get a divorce because he would have to pay alimony and child support and would have to fight for custody of his daughters. So instead, you want to kill your wife, who received and he received $100,000 life insurance money a month after his wife died.
It makes sense now since you said all that.
Policy through because she worked at Subway. he received another $20,000 in life insurance money through his employer. So when his wife died, he had life insurance on her, and she had her own life insurance. So yeah.
Since you brought that story up, since you said that all at the end about alimony, child support, remember about 3.5 years ago, it was a white guy. I think he was in Pennsylvania. And he held out the police, and he was shooting at cars and stuff and say because he wanted them to kill him because it just got ruled that, you know, his wife get everything. He had to pay child support, and he didn't want to do it, and he was struggling and stuff like that. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But see, now this one, I can speak from a man's perspective. When you go inside, you've been busting your behind. Now this, I'm not advocating that you got to kill your lady, but this is the mental stuff that, you know, nobody never talk about with men, and the depression that you go through as a man, you got to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you just met that woman out the blue and y'all didn't have kids together. No, y'all shared affection and stuff like that. Now we got people telling that we don't even know, telling us that she could have this much, they could have this much. We can determine that for ourselves. I know some people can't. That's why they have mediation and et cetera, et cetera. But no one, they need to have, they got programs set up and everything else, have programs set up for that, how to make people, you know, deal with them things like that. Transition will have to come up off that stuff like that. It's just the idea, but men actually do go through, you know, mental breakdown dealing with those situations. Everybody don't handle situations the same way. Clearly, because it's all
but
white.
Again, this right here, he premeditated.
Yeah, he
all
premeditated.
Of this.
I'm just
so,
saying
like, even
that last part.
Right, but like he even asked, he told a coworker one time that he put Xanax pills in his wife's drink, and after she tasted, she would stop drinking it. So he said, "Do you know any other pills that are tasteless? Or what can I do for this?" Like, he's been plotting. He's going around asking, but he had multiple jobs where he was fired from because of a pattern of positive drug testing. So he was on drugs. He was doing different type of stuff, but again, he shouldn't be like this whole what he did, the way he went about it. Again, if you are no longer happy with your significant other, don't put yourself in a situation that's going to affect you, your family, and so on and so forth. Just get out. If you feel that it's no longer necessary or worth it, get out.
Like the movie. Get out.
That's it.
Wake up out that sunken place. Let me get my little spoon in my teacup. Yeah, he gonna get to what he deserved. Good luck, buddy. Should have did a lady like that. But once again, people, we at the end of the road. You know what I'm saying? Like Boys to Men, ain't that the song? At the end of the road.
Yep.
At the end
we don't need that.
of the road.
Nope.
But we like to get into, you know, the questions on about marriage tips, relationship tips. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter, you know, young, old, middle age, you know what I'm saying? If we can be of some service, if we can help, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
From our point of view, these just our opinions. So,
yeah, because
you know
we are
what
not
I'm saying?
perfect, nor do we intend on trying to be. But these are just our opinions and our thoughts.
All right. First question of the night. Question number 1. What should be the earliest age of first marriage for men and women? The earliest age.
I mean, personally, I would say at least, again, it's my opinion, I mean, at least, you know, your legal age of, you know, being considered an adult is 18. But, you know, they are where your parents can sign on for you to get, you know, allowing you to be able to get married earlier than that. Again, I don't think that your mind is that mature enough at that point in time to be able to commit to that type of long-term style type of relationship.
You're speaking for a woman, right?
Right.
Okay.
And I just feel that at that age, like anything from, like, I'll say 18 and older.
I would use your opinion against you about the maturity. Now, you know what I'm saying? Because I have seen, like, some fairly young girls get married to older men. Some work out, some don't. I've seen it vice versa. You know, I think it's all just based on the maturity level. You know what I'm saying? If you're mature enough, if you're responsible enough, if you've been raised well, you know what I'm saying? If you asked appropriately, you went through the right, channels. You went and talked to her dad, her father, if she had one, et cetera, you know what I'm saying? And things like that, showing that you're a responsible man and things like that. And you're ready. You got to be ready to get rid of all the girls and all that. For some people ain't, but some people start off like that. They start rough and they ease it out and it be gravy. But the earliest age for me, I'll say it ain't no age limit. It's whatever. It's all about your mind, where you at mentally. You know what I'm saying? You could be 40 and thinking like a 27-year-old, ain't never ready for marriage. You've been with a woman
that's
forever.
True, but still, I personally feel like.
But if I had to put an age on it, let me answer the question. I would say 21.
I can see that.
21. I'll say 21. Me, I was ready for it right out the gate. I've been ready. I've been ready to tie that knot, jump over that broom.
No, he wasn't.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, he wasn't.
But what I went through made me ready at any age. All right, you
in your family, what types of marriage are not approved of? Inter-ethnical, racial, interfaith, same sex, or different nationalities? In my family, it's a mixed culture. We have mixes of Germans, Indians, blacks, white, Puerto Ricans. I'm there, you name it. We have everybody on my side of the family is on both sides of my family. Parents, paternal and maternal, are all mixed. And as far as like in my family, everybody's approved of pretty much everything. I do have people that are in my family who are LGBTQ and they are married. It's not, I'm not going to say it's not shunned upon or anything or not approved of or whatever. I mean, everybody has their own differences and their own, love doesn't see a color. Love doesn't see sex. Love doesn't see a nationality. Love doesn't see ethnicity, so on and so forth. So it is who you love, and, it's either your family will or won't accept it. You are the person that's going to have to spend the rest of your life with that person if you believe in those type of values as far as to love and to honor and to obey, for death do us part. And then you have some people who do it for show. You have some people who do it for fashion, etc. But as far as in my family, there's not any type of disagreements. As far as like not approved. Because like I said, you'll see very light skin. You'll see all the way white. You'll see super dark. Like everybody in my family, you'll see a shade of all type of colors in my family, and everyone is accepted. Everyone is who they are.
Well, you know what I'm about to say. It's only one exception. I can speak for the majority of black people out here. Come on, let's all say it together. What's the number one thing your mom tell you growing up, or your friend, you hear your friend mom say, or you hear your friend tell you that? Don't you bring home no white girl. That's what they tell you. That's what they tell you. Don't you ever? You ain't never heard them say, "Don't you bring home one of those chicas? Don't you bring home one of those African girls? Don't you bring home one?" It's always, "Don't you bring home no damn white girl." But I say, now that's what they used to say. That's what you used to hear. I don't care what color she is. You know what I'm saying? Obviously.
Are you trying to reference that to me?
No, I'm just saying. What? Oh, you want me to renew my vows right here? I'll do it.
Do it.
That's for another day.
Yeah, okay.
But, nah, man, they don't care. Because I didn't see my brothers or a lot of people that come in with all kind of girls and stuff like that. Nobody wants to say nothing. We don't care. You get to learn the person, to see who they are. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Especially not these time of days and stuff like that. But it's always that one exception is that I used to always hear. They always used to say, the white girl. Because, you know what I'm saying? It's something tricky about it. She going to trick you, BB. She gonna trick you. She gonna trick you. Now, BB is baby boo. I say that a lot. You know, she gonna baby boy. It could be that, but other than that, no, it doesn't matter to me because I didn't. I've dated all nationalities coming up in Orlando, Florida. You know what I'm saying? Panamanian, a German.
I'm your first German.
German. Black, of course.
Yeah.
White. No, I never dated a Caucasian woman. Never dated. I mean, I might have, other things might have transpired, but you know, like as far as dating, like I only date, like all those ones, like Panamanian and all this. I had other, interactions with them, but like actually dated, only black and German. Like I actually been like holding their hand, kissing them and stuff like that. Just black and German. But whatever floats your boat and whatever that person brings out of you, and you know what I'm saying, they can make your light shine. Hey, do it, because
is love. I don't see any color. I don't see any nationality, ethnicity, etc., etc.
we got to cover the board. We got to cover it all around.
Don't care.
You
boy and boy, girl and girl, etc. If that's what you want, whatever floats your boat, you love it, I like it, etc. So
yeah, because those days over when you come in and walk, hey mom, dad, I want you to meet my girlfriend. Now you know that. Nah, them days over with. You know what I'm saying? You nervous to bring your, you know what I'm saying? That generation, they done faded away. Those elders done faded away.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to all my, elders that helped us along the way. You know what I'm saying, with this relationship thing. I had to, speaking from a man's perspective, I had to determine myself. My family's member used to tell me, oh, that girl ain't good for you. She no good. It don't matter who she is. She did, she dead. But how you gonna tell me? You ain't even with us all the time. You ain't even with us. You don't even know what me and her talk about at nighttime and that. Like, you don't even know what she been through. You just telling me to stay away from her.
Nobody liked me, but they love me now.
So the last question for the night. Question number 3. How do you know you're ready for marriage? How do you know? Now that's different from the first question we asked. What's the earliest age for your first marriage? Like, because some people get married multiple times. But how do you know when you're ready for marriage?
So I would say you would know if you are with this person and you can see this person as being your significant other for long term. Not like, okay, oh my God, I'm so in love with him, but you know that he's not good for you, and you know that this person is not going to be, you can't see yourself with this person forever. Why would you waste your time? As far as being, again, that's why I feel like when you're ready for marriage, if you don't feel like that person that you're with is marriage material, why waste your time? Don't play the wifey role and do wifely duties to a man that you are not going to be married to. And the same for a man. Don't play husband duties for a woman that you don't see yourself being with forever. Don't waste each other's time. If you feel that y'all are not you don't see yourself long term with this person, why would you want to waste each other's time and just date and pretty much fornicate and do all that stuff and shacking up if you don't feel that, okay, well, I see myself as with this person forever? Because again, common law marriage is not real. Because at the end of the day, if your last name ain't signed as Mr. and Mrs. Smith and your name is Miss Doe and he's Mr. Smith, you don't have no right to say
that was a good movie, by the way.
So again, to know that you're ready for marriage, if you love that person and you can see yourself long term, that's when you know that you're ready.
I can tell you how you know when you're ready for marriage, fellas. You know you ready for marriage when you with that one girl that you don't do the same thing anymore when you with her. Like, you don't do your same stuff. Like, you don't have that intentions or that,
or can't see yourself without that person.
Or, like that fortitude to go off and go mess with these girls and stuff like that. Like, when you get that different, when everybody around you start saying something about that girl, or she changed you, or, man, you changed him when you come, that's the one.
Yep.
That's the one right there. When everybody like, man, why is it? Now, I was with her and her, you'll just say something, you know what I'm saying, periodically, sporadically, you know what I'm saying? But this girl, you bugging me about it, like, all the time. That's how when you know you're ready to get married, when everybody's still, you know what I'm saying, like a thorn in your side. Like, okay, I've been rocking with her for about 2-3 years, Hey, they talking crazy, you know what I'm saying? It's all like they don't want me to be with her. That's the one, you know what I'm saying? Sort of like you always want something that you can't have, but that's the one. That's how I can tell you when you know, man, because I didn't find myself wanting to do the same thing. It's like, Nah.
He just couldn't see himself without me for the rest of his life, and he just couldn't see me with anyone else.
No, it was just
It's
like
just
a
that
certain
connection.
aura, like, you
have
know what I'm
that
saying?
aura, that connection when you start changing mentally and physically, and she starts changing mentally and physically. It's like your souls are like intertwined and you connect. It's like you're each other's soulmate. And you finish each other's words, all the little gooby stuff that you read in little Hallmark cards, etc. But again, it's when you're ready for marriage again, when you can see yourself when you can see yourself living with that person for the rest of your life and not being with anyone else. Like you can't be without that person. It's like you feel like you're gonna die if he's not there. And you're writing a little exos and practicing what your name will look like when I'm gonna be Mrs. Doe. I'm gonna be such and such. Like you're writing that out. When you're ready, you have that connection, you have that feeling, and you just you can't see yourself with nobody else but them.
Well said, my darling. Well said. Well, I love you too, baby. With that being said, people, you know what I'm saying? We hope y'all enjoyed the show. You know what I'm saying? We hope, you know what I'm saying, those answers were helpful to you guys. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, we help somebody and they help the next person. And, it just continue around in the circle. But then until the next time, people, we got to get out of here. Kids got school in the morning. You know how we rocking.
Good night.
We love you. Don't forget to follow us on HizandHerz, at HizandHerz Barnett on Facebook, at HizandHerz Podcast on Instagram, at HizandHerz Podcast on YouTube, and we're also streaming on Spotify, Anchor, and Google Podcasts. So don't be strangers, you know what I'm saying? Come ring that doorbell. You need some sugar, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, don't be mi casa, su casa. And with that being said, you know what I'm saying? We out of here. We love you. Have a good night. Have a good week. You know what I'm saying? And don't feel, feel free to inbox us, send us stories that you want to hear about and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And, we'll review them and things like that. But until the next time, we love you. Peace.